If someone told us we were going to live in a cold country with grey weather, bad food, away from your family, friends, and everything you know as a reality, let's be honest, it would sound more like a depressing Netflix movie than an opportunity. That was the worry of my 17-year-old self as I moved to London to pursue my law degree. I packed my life in a ridiculous number of bags, and off I went, excited but terrified. Because let's be honest, there's definitely things more fun than homesickness, feeling lonely while eating instant noodles, and living in a country that is completely foreign to us. This is now my 4th year living in London, and after 3 years of studying and 1 of working, I have developed what we'll call, for the purpose of this talk, my secret recipe. I'm absolutely no genius, but these are just what I found to be key to making the most of my experience of living abroad. Doing so, I have found out we can actually gain a lot more than we think when we first embark upon this journey. Let's go into ingredient number 1, open-mindedness. Now, I know we all think that traveling abroad will make us more open-minded human beings. Who of us in this room doesn't like to travel, for example? I'm guessing not a lot of us. But university abroad did teach me to be more open-minded, but in a different, deeper way. It's not just about understanding other people's values and cultures, but it's about bonding with people from all over the world and appreciating those differences that really make each and every bond unique and allow us to become citizens of the world. At school, especially if you've attended international schools, we've had the opportunity to be friends with people from all over the world and appreciating everyone's differences. At university, we get to meet even more of those people and really become citizens of the world by helping each other grow. At uni, for example, I've met people coming from Pakistan to China, to Canada, to Argentina, and each and every one of them, in some shape or form, has not only helped me to find my personal space in my life by making lots of different friends, but also, unsurprisingly, to always have diverging opinions, which, as you navigate the challenges of academic and professional life, can really help us grow. Ultimately, they made me feel like London wasn't this big, overwhelming place to be, but a rather stimulating and exciting one to be at. Now, this leads me on straight to point number 2, finding your own balance and learning independence. Now, we spend years at school trying to make our friend group and meeting the people that make us really happy as we're growing up. I have some bad news. At university, it all goes back to square one, and we leave our comfort zone, and once we have to make friends all over again. I know it sounds so daunting, but it's probably one of the best experiences that we go on as young adults, because suddenly we have a chance to redefine ourselves. In high school, for example, I used to be a bit more self-conscious, but when it got to meeting new people that did not know me at all before, I decided, you know what, I'm going to put my most confident version out there. And that really helped the 17-year-old me create those strong and genuine friendships that I needed whilst taking this new, daunting step. Together with redefining myself, I had to learn independence. And yes, sometimes when we're at school, we do take a home-cooked meal at the end of a long day or a constantly tidy and clean home for granted. Then we move abroad and realize things change just a little bit. At uni, whether we live with fabulous flatmates or completely on our own, the best thing that I found in making my experience quite memorable is learning to be independent. Yes, I know in high school we all feel like super independent grown-ups. Then we move abroad and realize there's actually so much that we still need to learn. My flatmate and I have undoubtedly burned something, cooked something that did not taste good at all, or left the laundry in that one extra day. But that's all part of the fun of becoming independent, although I know it might not seem like it there and then. Because ultimately, we all learn to balance the demands of work, academics, life chores, and just any other countless facets of life. Because ultimately, the best thing about independence is not just about learning to live by ourselves, but it's about finding our equilibrium in a new and at first quite unfamiliar symphony. Then there's a third ingredient, the added complexity, maintaining our identity while adapting to a new one. Now, how do we craft the delicate art of living in a culture that isn't our own? I know, sounds a bit like walking a tightrope, doesn't it? But actually, it's not as bad as it sounds. Because when me and my Italian friends first moved away from home, we were questioning a lot with ourselves as to whether, how do we really do it? How do we adapt to a new culture without losing our roots? And we soon realized this wasn't an either-or situation, because we can be global citizens without compromising our identities. And it's actually more about treasuring those identities as we learn and appreciate a different culture. In London, for example, I love to support small Italian shops, have pizza nights with my friends, and all gather together to watch Italian music festivals. But at the same time, I have found that London and its cultures has so much to offer. Different foods, arts, ways of dressing, approaches to life. And I found this to be a bit of a chaotic but wonderful dance between adaptation and preservation. And it's a rather beautiful journey of self-discovery. Now, moving on to the last ingredient, but potentially the most important, finding your home away from home in terms of people. Yes, I know it sounds so scary to have to make friends all over again, but I promise it's one of the best experiences, because at university, everyone is as keen as each other to make friends. And just to give you a quick idea, in my first 2 days in university, I met the 2 girls that would quickly become the pillars in my London life. Because the people you meet at uni aren't just your classmates. They become your support system, and with time, your family away from home. Because ultimately, no one better understands the challenges, shares the triumphs as the people that you're sharing their experiences with. I cannot tell you the amount of times me and my friends have been each other's shoulders to cry on, or the person to give a congratulatory hug as you navigate the challenges of academic and professional life. My one big tip is as simple as fundamental then. Be kind, and involve yourself in as many societies, working groups, and so on, because this combination will enable you, slowly but surely, to find your home away from home and maximize the experience of living abroad. This is what I learned and what I wanted to share with you. Moving abroad for university is much more than just an academic venture. It's a rather transformative journey. You learn to be more open-minded, to become independent whilst holding on to your roots and adapting to a new culture. But most importantly, you will learn to find your home away from home. If I could go back and speak to the 16-year-old self at ISF who was worrying about where to go study, I would say this: remember the challenges you face will mold you into a stronger, more resilient person. Therefore, consider the world your classroom and let the journey begin. Thank you.